Welcome back to Broken Bobby's Transformation Page. If you are new to the page, in 1990 I became involved in the drug gang world. From 92 to '06, I spent a lot of time incarcerated. I tell these stories to let you know it don't have to be you. If you're young and thinking about trying something or you're figuring out how to get out, these are my stories of this lifestyle and how it affected me, and eventually I got out and transformed my life. So let's get into today's story. All right, so as you can see by the thumbnail, this is Do the Surenos Run LA County? Now, you would think it would be a pretty obvious answer, but let me give you a breakdown of the demographics in LA County Jail just based on my assessment. There's no news articles or anything to back this up, but so you have the Southsiders. There's tons of Southsiders, probably 35 to 40% of the jail is Southsiders. And you have the Paisas as well. The Paisas are the Mexican nationals that are, the illegal immigrants, if you will, that have come from Mexico and are now in the system. They're not gang related, or at least they weren't in my time. Now, one thing about the Southsiders in LA County Jail, uh, due to regulations coming from up above, there are no street beefs. So if you run into someone that is beefing with your hood, that is a dead issue while you're locked up. Now, let's take a look at the blacks in LA County Jail. You got the Crips, you got the Bloods, you got non-affiliates, and I'm sure there's some other segments there as well. And they're probably another 35 to 40% of the population. There's a lot of them as well. One thing about the black car, if you will, in LA County Jail is, and I've heard this from numerous sources that I know that have been there, when they arrive in the county jail, they have fades. And if you don't know what that means, basically it's a fight. You're going to fight with somebody. And if you end up in a dorm where there's 3, 4, 5 enemies, more than likely you're going to run 3, 4, 5 fades. If you're lucky, they're going to be one-on-ones. If not, you may get jumped. But typically what I've heard is they're one-on-ones and it's back to back to back to back. So that is really detrimental to their unity in there, but it's what they do. Then you have the whites, the woodpile, the skinheads. And there's, from most of the places I've been, there aren't very many. If you are like a skinhead or something of that sort, more than likely they're going to have you segregated in your own dorm, from what I've heard. I've never been in one of them dorms where it's all whites, but that's typically what I've heard. Now, there's obviously going to be some big homies in LA County Jail, and they're going to be in high power and like 1750 or wherever they may be keeping them these days. But yeah, that's where they are. And from what I've seen, I would say whites are under 10%. And typically, if you land somewhere where there are a few whites, you're going to have a few solid ones and a couple of crackheads or, guys that have been in on DUIs. And, they're probably not going to do much. They may or may not jump if something happens. And, typical, just regular white guy that got into trouble that isn't about the business or they're just trying to do their time and go home. Okay, so then you have others, and this is a very small population. Typically, they're going to be like Samoans or something of that sort. And typically, from what I've seen, they'll run with like the Crips, or occasionally, maybe you might see one that runs with the Bloods. I've heard stories where some of them are run with the South, but I've never run across one in person that does. If you enjoy this sort of content, subscribe to the channel, smash that like button, drop a comment, and tell me what you think. Also, share the video. It really helps to grow the channel. We've been growing pretty good lately. Thank you, guys. Also, you can follow me on TikTok at BrokenBobby72, as well as Instagram at the same name. I'm also on X now. I'm trying to build that platform up a little bit, and that is BrokenBobby1972. So thank you for your support. Now, let me tell you about where I've been and what I've seen. I've pretty much been all over the LA County jail system. Been in Men's Central. The only place I haven't been is the Twin Towers. That's more of a medical facility and a place where people on meds might land. So, but I've been in 2900. I've been in 3300, 35. I've been on the 9,000 floor, 9500, 9300. I've been out to Pitches Detention Center, Medium North, Supermax, which is cell living. Everything at Pitches Detention Center that I've seen is dorm living, rather, not cell living. They're dorms, and Medium North is a little bit smaller, maybe 60 to 80 inmates, and Supermax, maybe 100 in a dorm, and it's upstairs and downstairs. So, yeah, that's kind of the breakdown of where I've been. I've been pretty much all over the place, been on a million bus rides with LA County. They like to shuffle you around, like I've made reference to in previous videos. And yeah, and those demographics that I mentioned earlier are pretty much correct. I would say the Southsiders and the Blacks are probably about even in population, but when you add in the Paisas, gives the Southsiders an advantage as far as numbers, and typically when things jump off, the Paisas are going to jump with them, and vice versa. So, who do the Surenos run the LA County Jail? I would say yes, they do. And the main reason for that is that they're unified. The Blacks tend to fight with one another. Like I said, they run fades when someone new comes into the dorm, and just if they were more unified, maybe it might be a different story. But the unification of the Surenos definitely allows them to run the LA County Jail, in my opinion. So I'm going to be working on another video that somebody requested in my live last night, and that's do Blacks check paperwork and take care of chomos and stuff like that. Now, I don't have a whole lot of, I never practiced the Black politics, so I'm not an expert on that, but I'll get into it the best I can, and maybe give you some references that you can check out if you want to know better on that. There's somebody that I follow that does really good work, so I'll pin his information into that video. But family, fitness, and freedom are what allowed me to not continue to live this sort of lifestyle, and they can help you as well. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and don't look at the mountain, just start climbing.